Hi, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your January 11th, 2024 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps this channel out tremendously, and it helps me out tremendously. So, thank you so very much for doing so. So, let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Okay, so we have the Lovers. We then have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Magician. We have the Six of Cups. And we have the High Priestess. That's a really, really great lineup. Really great lineup. And of course, I didn't put one as your crowning card. Gosh, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Ooh. So we have two crowning you. That's really interesting. The Empress and the Six of Pentacles. Because it just flew right out. Okay, so it's really, and I'm going to say interesting again, but you have the Empress. Now, remember, you're represented by the Emperor in the Major Arcana. So that's your card. So with the Empress coming through and the Six of Pentacles, there's a balance coming into play, or that needs to come into play. Now, it can be with a partner or with finding a soulmate. So that energy could be out there if that is something that you're looking for. But there's also a sense of the energy coming into balance or coming into play with the sacred feminine energy and the sacred masculine energy coming forward during this time. So there's also a real sense of, what do I want to create? What do I want to cultivate? And you'll find yourself asking this more and more with this new moon, because this new moon is in Capricorn. It's at 20 degrees for 44 minutes of Capricorn. Both the sun and the moon are at that alignment. And this really is building up, I don't want to say an extreme sense, but there's a lot that's going on during this time. The floodgates are opening. So when we have the Lovers coming forward, this is also very strong Gemini energy. Remember, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is conjunct the galactic center during this time. So that's going to be huge for us. We have the Ace of Pentacles, prosperity, success. God, source, spirit, however you see the divine, the universe is handing us this gift. And with the Magician right here, because the Magician has the pentacles in it, there is that sense of, I'm claiming this gift, I'm claiming this power, I am moving forward. With the Six of Cups, there's going to be an energy around us of having the past come in. So the past can come in a beautiful way, but the past can also come in a way where it's like, I want to recreate it just like that. If it's not just like it was once upon a time, it's not going to be right for me. And Spirit is saying, let the past kind of wash over you, let yourself connect with it, but do not let it dictate everything to you. Okay, so that's going to be really important. And with the High Priestess, the veil is being lifted from your eyes. You're connecting with things a lot more emotionally, a lot more psychically, Aries, and that's going to be very liberating for you. It's going to be very empowering, but it can also be something that is a little bit overwhelming, and especially during this moon. And we'll get into the reasons why when we talk about things astrologically speaking. So let's see what Spirit has to say. And if you're interested in entering to receive a free reading, put a snowflake in the comment box below. The winner will be announced in a separate video on the 1st of February. So good luck to everyone, and don't be scammed by anybody contacting you in the comment box. It will not be me. And if you are interested in purchasing a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or a healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. And here we have rejoice. And there's a real sense during this time, because if you see here, she's holding the phases of the moon in her hands. There's a time where every single aspect of this moon is going to have us needing to rejoice, or needing to connect, or needing to express ourselves in one way or another during this new moon, as we turn inward, as we kind of close our eyes and connect with ourselves. This is a time to rejoice on who we are, on how we want to move forward, on the intentions that we're setting for 2024. But it's also, a new moon is new intentions, new ideas, new power guiding us. And we're going to see that being very powerful for us as we're moving forward and as we're going after what we want. Because it's not just for, the beginning of 2024. It's every single month when we're looking at, okay, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to succeed at? How am I changing my life for the better? And there's a real sense of rejoicing within ourselves, because Spirit is going to make certain things really known to us. And it's like, okay, this is a bad habit that you need to break, or this is something that we need to stop. And that's going to come forward beautifully and powerfully. So let's see what Spirit has to say through our chakra energy, angels, and spirit guides. Here we have communication. This is the throat chakra. So here we can see the energy connecting, not just, with our voice, but also psychically or, energetically during this time. We're going to be picking up on conversations that have nothing to do with us. It's going to be the energy field of other people. So just being aware of that, Aries, that we're going to want to react because we are reactive people. It's not a bad thing at all, but we're the go-getters, the doers, okay, something to accomplish, I'm going to do it. I'm going to set it up. And during this time with communication, we're going to be acting off of things that maybe people didn't ask us to act off of. And Spirit's like, okay, step back just a little bit because we're going to be so in tuned that it can actually be a little bit overwhelming, or we can start putting pressure on ourselves that nobody wants us to put on ourselves, or that somebody's trying to deal with themselves and we don't need to come in like a white knight, and rescue the whole situation. So just be aware of this during this time. We also need to communicate. We need to talk. We need to express, what do we want? What do we need? How are we moving forward for ourselves? What does our soul want? What does our soul need? So that's going to be a very important energy here during this time as well, to talk to ourselves, to connect, to journal, to let out what we want, to talk in front of a mirror, making eye contact with ourselves. That's a very positive thing. It's a very healthy thing to do as well. It brings us then to our energy to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Here we have the Lovers, which is very interesting because I thought, oh, we have to talk about the Lovers because when I broke the deck, I don't know if you saw, but the Lovers, you can rewind and see that the Lovers was right in between. So I was like, okay, we have to bring up the Lovers. We have the Lovers energy here, which is fantastic for us, but we also have the Lovers energy coming up as something to be mindful of. Let us not mistake lust and love, because it's easy to. It's easy to when we're in the beginnings of an infatuation with anything. It doesn't have to be with a person, though it can be. We can be in the honeymoon stage of anything in our lives. And Spirit is saying here, look to see if you really love it or if you're just lusting after the idea of it all. So just being aware of that during this time. This is also strong Gemini energy coming forward, a time frame of May 21st to June 20th. There is also a sense here of, is what you love guiding you? Or are you looking at things? Yeah, is what you love guiding you? Or are you looking at things and saying, oh, that'll make a good show? Or that's, what I'm supposed to be doing. But is what you love guiding you? So that's going to be a really important thing during this time. Now we have the Empress and the Six of Pentacles. The Empress, again, that's a soulmate connection for us. Whenever the Empress comes up and we ourselves are represented by the Emperor, it's a soulmate connection, true love connection. There's something powerful leading us forward, but there's also that creative energy coming forward. Represented by the Emperor, we like to have a plan. We like to be very pragmatic about things. Think of it as the eternal, father figure, like patriarchal figure. I don't mean that and I hate to even preference it this way. When we say patriarchal, when it's nothing negative, and nor should it be seen as negative. But there's the sense here of we are the practical ones. We're like the loving father saying, are you sure you want to do that? Like, seriously, creative writing, that's what you're going to major in? So, and I'm not saying anything against creative writing. That was one of my minors in college. But here it's like, okay, so you're taking that, like, what are you going to do? Where's the practicalness of it all? And so here we're needing to really connect with the creative element of it and find that balance. Find that balance of, what do we love? What do we want? How are we moving forward? Where are we going? What are we looking at? Where do we need to be? What are we nursing inside of ourselves that we're almost afraid to say, okay, but this is what I want. This is how I need to move forward. Because what's really interesting is during this time, we have, what is the energy here? Yeah, we have Mars powering the dwarf planet Ixion. Now we are ruled by Mars, right? So when Mars is powering Ixion and it is in Capricorn, what we're being asked is, are the rules that we're living by right for us? And I know that sounds like a silly question to be asked. Like, there's the rules that we live by culturally, family wise. So when we're asked, are the rules that we're living by right for us? Are we moving forward in the creative sphere that expresses us, that guides us forward, that opens up the door for us? Because Mars is out of bounds till the 23rd. So out of bounds astrologically till the 23rd of January. So this brings more extreme emotions coming forward. And when we're ruled by Mars, we can find that we have an instant reaction to things. And with an instant reaction to things, we can find that I don't want to say we throw temper tantrums, but you're going to see this with everyone. We tend to throw temper tantrums just a little bit more easily. We get a little bit more frustrated, a little bit more like, oh my gosh, am I even heading in the right direction type of thing. We can be very hard on ourselves. So just being mindful about this is going to be very important. Because also, what's coming into play on the 11th of January is that we have the dwarf planet Eris moving stationary direct at 24 degrees of Aries. So again, Aries, we are coming forward. So this brings justice and truth to the forefront of our mind. We want to be just. We want to be truthful with ourselves. We want to be looking at things in really the right way for us. And there's a sense here of, am I connecting with that energy? Do I know what it is that I want? Now, as this moves forward, right, we have the lovers coming into play. So the lovers is coming here. And I didn't realize the white would be so hard to see on screen. So I do apologize about that. But it is a beautiful deck. So here we have the lovers coming into play. And with Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn, and this is until the 20th of January, this brings the less positive aspect of Capricorn forward. So what we're going to see is that's top-down structure. That's the rules of things. So we can also be a little bit rebelling against the rules of things when it comes to what we love, or wanting to fit it in a certain box. It has to look this way. It has to be just like this. Depending on our personality, the alignment of our chart, everything like that, we can be looking at things and saying, but it has to be just like this. Like it has to fit just like this. Or we can be saying, I don't want to be told what to do. And we have this energy that's like telling us what to do. So just being mindful about this when it comes to our love, when it comes to our passion, because what we're going to see with all of 2024 is, what do you want to build? We've made choices in 2023 to live in love or fear, to live in victory or victimhood. All right. We've all made these choices in 2023. And we can look back at it and say, I didn't make these choices. But then when you look back at it, because that's what I thought, oh, well, that's intense. But if you look back at it, 2023 for me was definitely defined like that. And it was a going back and forth between feeling like a victim or feeling like a victor or feeling, in love with my life or feeling in fear of everything that could possibly ever happen. So take a moment and connect with that energy, because it's a lot more powerful and a lot more intense than we think. So just being aware of that. And if you want to dive deeper into the astrology of it all, check out Pam Gregory's channel here on YouTube. I have her linked in the description box. She's absolutely amazing. We're moving to the Ace of Pentacles. So the new moon is trine Uranus, which is very inspiring for our future. And having the Ace of Pentacles come up is also very inspiring for our future. It's like, okay, you can succeed, you can go, you can do. Here are seeds to plant. And we also see this reiterated with Saturn sextile Jupiter, which is very positive for our financial energy and for, building a business or seeing business growth. So just being aware that astrologically speaking and in the cards, right, the Ace of Pentacles is coming forward. And that's a big thing. Now we also have Mars trine Jupiter, which is extremely enthusiastic about, about the future, about get going, about go getting. There we go. That's the way we put it. Go getting in the future, and really saying, okay, this is what I want. This is the plan. This is what I'm going after. And with the Ace of Pentacles coming in, it's like, yeah, that's what I can do, right? I can get this to move me forward. Now, with the Magician, what's very interesting is that we have Mercury conjunct the galactic center, which I believe Spirit and I mentioned just a moment ago or a little bit ago. And what this means is that the messenger, the mind, right, Mercury coming forward, is aligning with the cosmic mind. So this is us standing before the altar of our existence, saying, what is it that I want? Where is it that I need to be? What are my gifts? And then starting to see them. Our gifts, it's interesting because when we're here on this earthly plane, we tend to look at things, in the way that we were raised, right? In what we consume through media that was told to us, this is important, this is good, this is bad, type of thing. And so we'll look at our gifts in that alignment. And Spirit is saying here, what if your gifts get to be, what does my heart sing towards? Like, what do I feel inspired by? And that's going to be a really big deal for us during this time. It's like, what brings me joy? What brings me happiness? Our job can be our job, right? We can do something and it can just simply be a job, and that's okay. So being aware of this during this time is going to be super important, that everything doesn't have to be our greatest inspiration. And even if we had a job or have a job that we absolutely love, dream job, it's still going to be on days just our job, right? It's just something we have to get out of bed and do. So when we look at the gifts that we have, when we look at ourselves standing before the altar of our existence, we're looking, what makes my heart soar? What makes me happy? What brings me joy? And it doesn't always have to be our work. We tend to, in our Western world, say, okay, what brings you joy, right? What makes things prosperous? What adds to your bank account? And then sometimes we can get frozen because remember, we had 2023, which was love or fear, right? But we can just freeze too. We can just freeze and be like, I don't know how to move forward because I'm supposed to love this, right? This is supposed to be all inspiring for me, but it's not always. So being kind to ourselves during this time and looking at the gifts that we're being given, but also looking at our prosperity and saying, maybe I have to rethink this, relook at this, recalculate this within my mind because the Six of Cups is coming in and we're looking at the past and we're being honest with ourselves and open with ourselves. How do I want to move forward? Where is it that I need to be? What is it that I desire? What is it that I'm looking for? The past plays a huge role in our present, but it doesn't get to be, okay, well, I know this happens or this will happen because this happened, once upon a time. We get to look at things and say, it is a new time. The only thing that's, playing the same game is me. So looking at things, and we might have other people, other players in our lives, right? That were in our past too. But we need to look at things and say, I'm trying to word this the right way in the way that spirit wants. It's almost like I'm changing the field because I'm not looking at myself the same way. I'm looking at things differently. I'm looking at myself as empowered and blessed and being guided by love. Because remember, love is the highest vibrational energy we have on this earth. And so if we live in love, if we move in love, if we are inspired by love, that changes the game. And it brings us to the high priestess. It lifts the veil off of our eyes and it lets us see openly and honestly where we need to be for ourselves. The high priestess comes into play and the high priestess is saying, hey, listen, what do you want? What do you need? What's important to you? And I know that sounds like an odd thing for the high priestess to say because usually the high priestess is more of a, let me give you a riddle and you figure it out. But I am starting to see the high priestess more and more of like, but what do you want from your life? Right? When the veil is lifted, when you start to see things more openly, more honestly, and that's when we start to see ourselves more openly and more honestly. And we start to say, okay, what do I want? Where do I need to be? What is important to me? What don't I want to be doing anymore? We start to change the field. There's a life that we thought we wanted when we were setting things out and watching TV and, hearing what everybody else wanted to be and what people responded really positive to and responded negatively to. And now we're looking at ourselves and saying, what do I want to be for me? Because a lot of that energy that was judging us or that we were judging ourselves, it's not going to matter as much. There's something about 2024 that is like, okay, but what's true for you? And this also comes into play because we do have the dwarf planet Gungkung, okay? And Gungkung is conjunct Saturn. And Gungkung is linked to flooding. So there's this emotion coming forward that is a flooding, okay, that's coming in. This alignment can bring an overwhelming sense of constraint, right? Because for things to be flooded, they have to outgrow where they are, right? The rivers flood because they overgrow, not overgrow, but they're the water is bigger than the banks. So just being aware of that during this time. And this isn't just in our day-to-day lives. This is also psychically and emotionally. The energy is coming at us and we feel overwhelmed by the constraint of things. So if we're sitting there and saying, I feel off, well, there's a reason why we feel off. Okay. And that's because Gungkung is conjunct Saturn. And again, that's the dwarf planet, Gungkung. So if you want to go deeper into that, there is, what is his name? Alan Clay. I believe he runs the Dwarf Planet Institute. So you can dive deeper and Pam Gregory, Pam Gregory, is very inspired by him. So that is exciting to listen to and learn about. So if you want to dive deeper, definitely do. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels. Oh, I love that the lovers has self-love. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. So it's interesting here, and I just want to start off with this energy coming forward. We have the Lovers right here. And then we have self-love, and we have prosperity lies ahead, but prosperity lies ahead is reversed. So the question that's coming forward is, when we start to really connect with what we love in ourselves, there's almost going to be this poverty mentality that comes forward, right? The sense of prosperity doesn't lie ahead. It might lie ahead from other people, right? It might be great for somebody else, but that's not my course and my path. And Spirit is saying why. If we embrace self-love, if we start to connect with ourselves, if we start to love who we are in our journey and where we stand right now, and there's also going to be a simplifying during this time. There's a connection with the simple joys and things that's going to be so important for 2024 that's coming forward. Like that energy is like, okay, simplify it, bring it into alignment with you. But there's almost a sense here of, as we connect with ourselves and as we connect with what we love, as we connect with what we desire, there's almost a sense like, I can't do it. And Spirit's saying why? Why is that energy coming forward? Because if we nip that in the bud, Aries, my goodness, are we just fierce? Fierce is the best way to describe it. Okay, so conclusions are within reach is overgrowth reversed. And we have the 9 of Pentacles. So there's almost a sense of stagnation, right? We feel like we can't grow. We feel like we're not moving forward. Now, conclusions are within reach. We're going to look at the stagnation within ourselves, within the energy around us, within our sphere of being. And we're going to see ourselves doing a huge overhaul. So that's going to be a really big thing. But just knowing that we feel like we're stunted, we don't feel like we're growing, and that's around the Ace of Pentacles. So that has a direct link with our financial abundance, the way that we feel secure financially. So being aware of that is going to be super important. It leads us then to bring love into the situation. Now, this is the new moon, and this is reversed. And we have that with the Magician. So what Spirit is saying throughout this whole reading with the Lover, self-love, coming through with things happening astrologically, is we need to bring love forward. We just do. We just do for us, Aries. Crowned by the Empress here with the 6 of Pentacles, like things have to be in balance, our sacred masculine, our sacred feminine. And so here with bring love into the situation, we then have the new moon reversed where we're doubting it. We're doubting if we can bring love into the situation, on the 11th of January. We're doubting if bringing love into the situation will work, or turning inward, saying what we want. Like, love might be from somebody else, right? I want a partner, or I want to be closer to my partner, or I want, XYZ. It's from external factors. But if we say, I want to bring love into the situation for myself, I want to love me, take care of me, cherish me, that's going to be really important. And this isn't saying that we give up on looking for somebody or connecting with our partner or whatever it is. It is saying here, I am going to love myself so much that it's beautiful. And it's not selfish. It's not saying, oh, I can't do XYZ because, I'm just so busy only doing what I want to do. That's not how life works. But if we can look in the mirror and say, I love you, and mean it, look yourself dead in the eye and say, I love you, and mean it, that's transformative. It's not, I love you when you lose 5 pounds. I love you when you get that promotion. I love you when. It's not contingent on anything. And this might be the first time in your life that you have love coming forward that isn't contingent on something. So just be aware of that. Be aware of that with this new moon as we turn inward, because the new moon reverse, what Spirit is showing is like, I don't want to turn in, right? I don't want to close my eyes and look. I just want to keep on being busy by the rest of the world. I want to get stuck in the mindless scrolling and the not thinking, the not connecting. And Spirit's like, why? It brings us then to personal issues reach a resolution. We do have to nourish ourselves. So with the 6 of Cups, with the past, we need to nourish ourselves. We need to nourish ourselves with past memories. We need to nourish ourselves with a loving connection with the past. For some of us, the past might be painful. And we might think, no. If it's horrific, if it was really traumatizing, then this can be a little bit more complex and you might need to talk to somebody. But here, if you're looking at the past and you're saying, okay, how do I nourish me? How do I connect with me? Because the personal issue reaches resolution. It's like something is solved during this time. Something is solved, and it's something that you've been carrying with you. And 2024 is also the time where we sit there and say, why am I carrying this? Like, I don't want this. I don't want this baggage. I don't want this energy. I don't want this. And it brings us then to confidence is our key to success. And that's reversed. And so is boundaries. Now, it's very interesting with the high priestess because the veil is lifted from our eyes, which can make us more vulnerable. We also have this energy of feeling flooded, or the energy coming in of feeling restrained and then feeling flooded psychically, emotionally, coming forward from the dwarf planet Gungkung. So just being aware of this, that we don't feel confident, and confidence is the key to success. Like if you don't believe in you, why should somebody else take the risk on you? And we do need clear boundaries. And we could be having a bit of difficulty with that because, well, I don't want to let anybody down. And then if I don't let anybody down or I don't, extend myself because I'm overwhelmed, then I won't achieve. I won't succeed. I won't be moving forward in the way that I need to or want to or desire. So just being aware of this during this time is going to be super important for us and super beneficial. It's like, okay, what do I need to do? It's kind of like, I don't mean to sound rude, but, in a very nice way. It's like getting our head out of our tush, right? type of way. And my mom would always say that to us when we're little, like, get your head out of your tush, like start looking at things. And I always thought that was, I always say that to myself. It's like, okay, what am I just stuck in my own being, in my own self, in my own ego, in my own desires? And it's because I don't have confidence in myself. It's because I feel overwhelmed. It's because, I'm doubting and then I'm freezing. So here, that's the energy that's coming forward. And I'm like, oh, well, way to be called out, spirit. But here, that confidence is your key to success. It is. And it's reversed. So when we're looking at the high priestess, when we're looking at connecting with ourselves psychically, energetically, we don't have that confidence. We're not connecting fully. And spirit's like, why? Or we're thinking that's nonsense, right? That's silliness. People will laugh at this. So let them laugh. People laugh at everything. You have something that somebody loves and they think, oh my gosh, that's so silly. Somebody's going to mock it. And, you have to be confident within yourself to say, this is me. And embracing that energy fully, openly, and honestly. It brings us to our subconscious spirit message, which is mindful. Mindful is reverse. So our thoughts are going all higgly wiggly, right? They're all over the place. We're not being mindful. We need to be mindful in our intention. A vision board would be fantastic, something to visualize, something to see, something to connect with during this time. Connecting with ourselves, journaling, depending on how you process things. Either way, would be fantastic, or both would be wonderful. So just looking at this and knowing I need to be more mindful. I need to be more present for myself. It brings us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is divine wisdom. And this is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. Divinely, we are blessed. Divinely, wisdom is coming forward. And we see that with the alignment of Mercury conjunct the galactic center. So a lot of information is coming our way. We're downloading a lot of it. We're processing a lot of it. And we feel a little bit on overdrive. So just be aware of this. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is, there are certain things that are energetically out of balance with you. You're going to know it. There are certain things where you say, oh, I can't stand that, or I can't look at that, or I don't want that. It's going to be energetically out of balance. It's stopping you financially from moving forward the way that you want to, or money, or what you value as much as money. So kind of calling out this energy, and you're going to have a physical response to it, is going to be super important. It can be people too. This is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but this is a Capricorn new moon. So this moon can also highlight things that on this earthly plane, you're like, no, I don't want this. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm not doing it. Our subconscious tarot message is the 9 of Wands reversed. And that's fantastic. This is a really fantastic reading. I mean, seriously, the 9 of Wands is feeling battered and bruised and needing to pause so that you can start another battle. And there's a real sense here subconsciously. It's like, I'm not fighting as much as I was before. 2023, we could look at that time and, all the time before it and be like, this was a constant battle. This was a constant fight. And we can see when that started. We can look at things and say, wow, it started from this year forward. For a lot of us, it could be 2020, right? That was a really intense year. And so here, when we're looking at things, when we're looking at the 9 of Wands reversed, we're like, what am I not fighting anymore? What do I not want to be a part of? Like, what am I saying no to? Because we're going to find ourselves saying no to a lot of things. But we have to make sure that what we're saying no to aren't things that are important for us, right? Because we'll have a tendency to say no to the things that will build us and grow us and manifest our dreams forward. And we'll say yes to the things that are just going to exhaust us. They're just going to run us into the ground. So do be mindful about this during this time. We have to stop and say, is this right for me? And listen, actually listen to spirit, because spirit is going to be a chatty Cathy during this time. Our subconscious Luna message is the void, the new moon, the nothingness. The void is reversed. So again, we're having a bit of apprehension, looking inward, turning inward, seeing what we desire. And then here we have don't let pride get in the way. And that's going to be an important thing. Don't let pride get in the way. Don't let yourself think, well, I want it to be like this, or I want it to be like that, or it had to be like this, it had to be like that. Looking at ourselves and embracing the expanse of this universe and saying, where do I stand? Not where does my ego want me to stand, but where do I stand? That's a powerful thing. And that's something that we don't often do. We're always, next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. But it's simplifying and following our joy. That's going to be just so important to us now. All right. All right, Aries. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. And know that this meditation and healing will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Aries. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless. Bye.